Hi there, welcome to today's class. In today's flow, we're going to have a little bit of outdoor vibes into our class, and it's going to be a slow flow targeting our whole body. By the way, my name is Fernanda, in case we have not met yet, but if you've been here on the channel for a little bit already, welcome back, and I hope you are excited as I am to move together. We'll begin right away in a seated position, so find any comfortable seat that works for you, and just take a moment in here to settle into your practice. So as you adjust yourself in your seat, take a deep breath in through the nose. Open up your mouth and big sigh out. Now seal your lips and just begin to breathe in and out of your nose. Just kind of noticing in here, how is it that you are showing up for your practice today? Noticing everything that is present, awake, alive from the skin inside. So noticing sensations in your physical body, paying attention on the thoughts that are fluctuating in the mind, as well as any feelings that might be present in your heart. Reminding yourself in here that yoga does not require that we feel, look, think a certain way in order to practice. So if you're finding any tight spots within your body, your mind, or heart, I want to invite you to welcome all into the practice today. Beautiful. From here, you can start to blink your eyes open, and we're going to start moving right away. So beginning in a tabletop position. So coming to your hands and knees, make sure to spread your fingers really wide, and just begin to find some movements in here that might feel really good in your body. If you're very familiarized with your cats and cows and you want to start there, feel free to. But then little by little, within the next couple of breaths, let yourself explore something different. You can maybe use the patterns of movement that I am doing here right now as an example, but don't limit yourself into them. Let yourself explore the barriers of your mind and find something different to explore in here just for a few more breaths. It doesn't matter what pattern of movement you choose. Make sure that you're moving slow. Really taking your time to pass through every little piece of your physical body, to really savor every little piece of the breath. And as I said in the beginning, this is going to be a slow flow. So a lot of times we think that a slow flow will be easier, but probably right in the beginning you notice that it's not necessarily true. So how do you deal when things are, the kind of slow burn? How does it feel when things are a little more challenging? And how can you still practice breathing through those moments? That's going to be what our whole practice is going to be about. But take one more full round of breath in here. Good. And then we're going to meet in a tabletop position. Start to tuck your toes underneath you if they're not there yet. And then just lift your knees to hover like 1 inch away from the mat. Make sure that you're pushing the floor away. You're gazing towards the top edge of your mat, so the back of the neck's nice and long. Feel the spread of the shoulder blades just for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Push your hips all the way up to the sky, coming to a downward facing dog. In here, you can feel free to paddle out your legs as you bend one knee at a time. Sometimes it can feel quite nice to kind of wiggle the hips side to side as well. And maybe even your eye gaze is kind of like following along with the movement of the hips. So moving the head to one side and the other. Beautiful. And then you pause right here into the center. Take a full breath in through the nose. Open up your mouth and sigh it out. And then we'll begin right away. Take an inhale to reach your right leg all the way up to the sky. Slow inhale, slow movement. Exhale to tap your right knee into your right arm. Really lean your chest forward until the shoulders stack on top of the wrists. And then inhale to re-extend your leg all the way up and back. Slow exhale to tap your opposite arm now, so cross the leg over to the left. And then slow inhale to re-extend the leg up. When you exhale, bring the knee into your chest, into the center, round your spine a little bit. And then step your foot through, lift and rise in a crescent lunge. Let the arms go up and overhead. Find a very generous bend on your front knee. Keep breathing nice and steady here. Noticing everything that is present. How do you feel in this shape? How do you feel in this flow so far? Take your final breath in. When you exhale, extend your front leg, come into a long pyramid pose. So keep your back foot exactly as it is. Just bow the head and the chest forward. And instead of letting the head fully go down, try to maintain a little bit of length through the back of the neck. Really feel the engagement on all the muscles of your right leg as you take one more breath in. Breath out. And then inhale back to the crescent lunge. Rebend your front knee, reach your arms all the way up to the sky. When you slowly exhale, bring the hands into your heart. And here you're pushing one hand against the other, finding some really good equal pressure, and see if you can even feel the muscles on the sides of your body activating just a little bit more. Staying for the last 3, last 2. On 1, start to lean your chest forward as you inhale. You lean forward so much that your back toes start to float, maybe little tiny steps until you find a chair pose, feet together at the top of the mat. Take a full breath in and here. Take a full breath out. Keep breathing just like that. See if you can gain a little more length through the spine. And even though you might be feeling the urge to extend your legs and get out of this shape, can you stay for 1 more seconds? Really staying within the challenge. Final inhale. When you exhale, twist to your right side. You're gonna bring your left elbow to your right leg, feeling the strength into the twist, the strength into the legs. And then slowly step your left foot all the way back to the back of the mat. If you want a little more support, you can always bring your left knee down. Otherwise, keep the knee up, but you can hear you're breathing for 3, for 2. On 1, reverse triangle. Unwind your arms, ground your back heel, extend your front leg. Right hand reaches up and overhead. In here, see if you can give a little bit of a bump on your left hip towards the left side so you gain more space through the right side of your body. Final breath in here. And then rebend your knees, cartwheel both hands forward. Step back into a downward facing dog. Take a full breath in and out. Left side, here we go. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Exhale, left knee tap onto your left arm. Stay for 1 more second. And then inhale to re-extend back and long. Exhale, cross and tap your right arm. Feel the strength into the core. And then inhale to re-extend the leg back. Exhale, knee to chest. Step your foot through. Lift, rise, crescent lunge. Arms up to the sky. Readjust your stance. Make sure that your left foot's nicely planted on the mat, that your back heel's really well spiked. Arms are reaching high, reaching tall. Feeling the strength into the glutes. Last breath in. When you exhale, extend your front leg, bow forward, long pyramid pose. Remember, in here, we're trying to keep a really broad chest. Lots of strength through the back of the neck. Engaging all the muscles on the front and back leg. And with your next inhale, back to crescent lunge. Rebend your front knee, reach both hands up to the sky. And then exhale to bring your hands together in front of your heart. Again, you're pushing nice and strong, one hand against the other. Feel the strengths on the sides of the body, on the back of the body. And using the next breath in to start to lean forward. Lean the crown of the head, lean the chest, and then slowly step your right foot to meet your left, chair pose. Staying here for a few breaths. Try to elongate your spine, hug the navel in and up. Last inhale. When you exhale, twist to the left side. Beautiful. Staying here, really again, pushing one hand against the other. Point your left elbow up and then slowly step your right foot all the way back to the back of the mat. Take your time to get there. Knee down or knee up. You choose, but you're breathing for 3, for 2. On 1, unwind, reverse your triangle pose. Extend your front leg, reach up and back with your left hand. Now your right side hip is bumping back. You can gaze towards your right foot. Last breath. Amazing. Rebend your front knee, both hands go down, step back. And let's move through a vinyasa in here together. So we inhale, roll forward, come into your plank pose. When you exhale, maybe the knees come down as you lower Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, find any back bend, low, high cobra, and then downward facing dog comes with your breath out. 3 rounds of breath in here. Also using this moment to reflect what parts of this flow you feel like you enjoyed, but most importantly, what parts of this flow you feel like you did not like at all. And I invite you to very gently lean into that piece, lean into that pose, and infuse it with a little bit more breath, a little bit more energy, because we're gonna go through it again, just with a little bit of an add-on at the end. Here we go. Inhale, please reach your right leg slowly up to the sky. When you exhale, tap your right knee to your right arm. Hold it for a second. Stay with the discomfort. And then inhale, re-extend slowly all the way up and back. When you exhale, cross your right leg, tap your left arm. And then inhale to re-extend. When you exhale right away, bring the knee towards the chest, but then step your foot through. Breath in, you lift and rise, crescent lunge. When you exhale, extend your front leg, bow the chest forward and down. Maybe airplane your arms this time for this variation of a pyramid pose. Squeezing the shoulder blades together, thumbs point out. Last 3, 2, on 1 inhale, rebend your knee, reach your arms all the way up. Exhale, palms together in front of your heart. When you inhale, lean the chest forward, crown of the head forward. Exhale, step your left foot to meet your right. Stay in the chair pose. Think about having your heart a little bit lower, a little bit higher, than the hips. Take a full breath in. When you exhale, twist to your right side. Stay for a breath. And then re-step your left foot to the back of the mat, back of the mat, back of the mat. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Feel that anchor in the center of your body. And with the next breath in, reverse your triangle pose. Ground your back heel, extend front leg, right hand reach up and overhead. Full breath in, full breath out. Take your last inhale here. When you exhale, warrior 2, bend your front knee, spread your arms apart, gazing towards your front hand. See if you can soften the shoulders and widen your right knee a little bit more to the right side. Last breath. Good. With the next inhale, Skandasana to the back of the mat. Hands can come into your heart. Pivot your left toes to the left. Bend your left knee. Squat down any amount. Maybe this is your Skandasana today. Maybe this is your Skandasana today. Find what feels challenging in a way that you can practice staying with the breath just for 1 more second. Beautiful. And then wide-legged forward fold. Make your feet parallel. Legs are extended as you bow the chest and head down. In here you can find a little sway side to side. Find a little movement, a little more breath. And then pause right here in the center. Hands underneath the shoulders. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, crawl the hands to frame your right foot. Step your right foot back. Back to downward facing dog. Left side right away. Inhale, left foot to the sky. Slow exhale, tap your left knee to your left arm. Stay for 1 more second. And then inhale to re-extend the leg up and back. When you exhale, cross, tap your left knee to your right arm. Again, once you tap, you hold. And then re-extend, inhale. Exhale, knee towards the chest, step it through. Crescent lunge happens with your breath in. Reach all the way up. Feel the breath infusing not only the belly, not only the chest, but all of it, front, back, and sides of your body. Last inhale. When you exhale, long pyramid pose as you extend your front leg and then maybe airplane the arms back. Feel the strength into the muscles of the leg, the strength into the core. Last 3, 2, 1. Back to crescent and rebend your front knee. Reach both of your hands up to the sky. When you exhale, hands together in front of your heart. Use the breath in to lean head and chest forward, 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 and step forward. Stay for a full round of breath. And then use your next exhalation out to twist to the left side. Once you breathe out, you go into the twist, elbow to the left leg. And then slowly step your right foot all the way back, back, back. You're breathing for 3, for 2. On 1, unwind, reverse your triangle, ground the heel, extend the left leg, reach up and back, gaze back. Beautiful. From here, come into your warrior 2, bend your left knee, spread the arms apart and parallel with the ground. Soft shoulders, soft gaze. We can still be in the challenge with a soft attitude, present and soft. And then from here we go, Skandasana to the back of the mat. Pivot your right toes there, bend your right knee, go low with the hips. If this is a challenging shape for you, remember, infuse it with the breath. And then let's meet in a wide-legged forward fold. Legs are extended, you're bowing down. Just finding some waves through the spine in here. So inhale, come into your halfway lift. Exhale to fold again. Inhale, half lift. Breathe out and fold again. Final inhale. And then exhale to the top of your mat. Frame your front foot. Step your foot back. Downward facing dog. 1 round of vinyasa. Here we go. Inhale to your plank. Exhale, chaturanga lower. Inhale, any back bend you want to take. And then come into a child's pose. Sink the hips towards your heels. You can bring the forehead down to the mat. Breath in through the nose and breath out, HA sound through the mouth. A few rounds like this. Final round. And then meeting back in downward facing dog, where we're gonna move through the flow we just did. Still in a slow pace, but now with no pauses in between the shapes. So here we go. Take an inhale, right leg to the sky, Ekapada. Exhale, tap right knee, right arm. Inhale, extend the leg up. Exhale, cross and tap your opposite arm. Inhale, re-extend the leg. Exhale, step your foot. Use the breath in to lift your arms up. Exhale, long pyramid pose, maybe airplane your arms. Inhale to the crescent lunge. Exhale, hands together in front of your heart. Inhale to lean forward. Exhale, step your feet together. Inhale, stay, but cultivate a long spine. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, step your left foot back. Stay for the breath out. Inhale, reverse triangle. Ground the heel, reach up and back. Exhale for warrior 2. Inhale, Skandasana to the back of the mat. Bend the left knee. When you exhale, wide-legged forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, crawl the hands to the top of your mat. Step back, downward dog. Take an inhale. And exhale. Left side, here we go. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, left knee, left arm. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, left knee, right arm. Inhale, re-extend. Exhale, step your foot through. Breath in to reach the arms up. Exhale, long pyramid pose. Extend the leg, bow. Breathe in back to crescent. Exhale, hands together in front of your heart. Inhale to lean forward. Exhale to step forward. Inhale to stay. Exhale to twist. Breathe in, step your right foot back. Stay for the breath out. Inhale, reverse triangle, unwind, reach back. Exhale for warrior 2. Inhale, Skandasana, bend your right knee, sink it low. Exhale, wide-legged forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands crawl to the top of the mat. Step it back. This time vinyasa or go straight to downward facing dog. Well done. Take a big breath in. Through the mouth, HA breath out. Bring your knees down to the mat. Come in and find a seat on your heels. Option to close your eyes or just soften your gaze in here. We're gonna do a very short breath practice. You can rest your hands onto your lap, onto your knee, whatever is accessible. But before we bring the technique of our breath practice, just pay attention on what's going on in the breath. Noticing if it's fast, if it's low, shallow or deep. And also remember that you are the one in control of your breath in this moment. Knowing that a short breath, a shallow breath, it's usually helping us feel more stressed out, more tense. Can you change that pattern in here? Little by little, letting the breath in and the breath out become a little bit longer, stretching it out. And then here we go with our breath practice, which is going to be adding a breath hold after the inhale and after the exhale. So you're going to inhale very slowly as if you're breathing through a very thin straw, filling up belly, ribs, and chest. And then the moment you hit the top of the breath, you're going to hold the breath without straining the face, without straining any muscles on your throat. And then when you cannot hold the breath any longer, you stay for one more second and then release into the breath out the same way you inhaled, very slowly, very smoothly. Once you're fully empty without air, again, you're going to hold the breath. Really softening shoulders, softening muscles on the jaw. Once it's very uncomfortable, you stay for one more second, and then you invite the breath in. And keep going just like that for a few more rounds in your own pace. Meeting your edges, those moments of challenge with a lot of compassion and a sense of curiosity as well. And then wherever you are in your breath cycle, you can go ahead and finish after the pause, after the exhale. And then just let the breath come back to its natural rhythm. Breathing in and out the nose. Just noticing how that practice went for you. And then I invite you to blink your eyes open so that we can wrap up our practice. But before that, I just wanted to bring this idea of leaning into the challenges in today's class, because you may or may not have heard that the word yoga, the real translation of the word yoga, it means union, it means connection, right? And I personally find it quite easy to be, to feel connected, to feel united when things are going good, right? When you're in a yoga flow, that you're moving like water, like from the inhale to the exhale, just flowing. Or when you're out there in life and you're with the people that you love the most and you're having a good time, your own vacation, it's easy to feel peaceful and connected in those moments. But yoga does not only speak about feeling united and connected in the good moments, right? It also speaks about feeling united and connected when we are dealing with challenges, when we're dealing with something that we don't necessarily like or love, and not just something, but maybe someone, some situation, right? And that's why we come to practice. We come to practice, leaning into the discomfort instead of just choosing to close our hearts and turn away the moment something becomes challenging or difficult. So thank you so much for leaning into the physical practice, into the breath practice. And let's come to lie down to wrap up together. Once you come to lie down on your back, you can right away hug both knees into your belly, into your chest. Give it a really good squeeze. Maybe find a little rock side to side. If you're practicing outside like I am, you can look at a tree or something beautiful that you can see in nature in this moment. But if you're practicing inside, maybe you find something beautiful inside your home. Maybe it's a plant that you have, a pet, maybe your own yoga mat, something that you really love and appreciate that it's around you. And then you can pause the movement in here. Soles of your feet are going to come together. Let the knees knock wide to the side, and you can let your feet rest on the mat. Supta Baddha Konasana. Bring one hand to belly, one hand to heart. And now I want to invite you to start to bring into your heart, into your head, an image of someone that is particularly challenging for you. If you cannot think of a person, you can think of a situation. Maybe it's a phase that you're going through in life right now that might be quite difficult. And I invite you to offer first to yourself, but also to that person or situation, lots of love and lots of compassion. If we are truly all one, like yoga says that we are, how can we find that common thread with every person and every situation that we're leaving, especially if it's a challenging one? How can we keep our hearts and our minds curious and open to at least stay for one more breath, stay for one more second, to finally maybe find the lessons in that situation? That's why we practice. Take a deep breath in through the nose. When you exhale, release any images you had into your head, and then start to extend your arms and your legs long on the mat, preparing for our final shape, Shavasana. Readjust anything you'd like to adjust, shoulders, hips, the space in between the legs and the arms. And then I invite you to stay here in this Shavasana shape for at least 10 more breaths, so you can truly integrate and wrap up this practice in the best way possible. But that's where I'm going to leave you today. Thank you so much for joining me for today's class. I hope you had a good time. And if you're ever interested in joining me in person for one of my yoga retreats, make sure to check all the information on the description below. I'll see you on the next class.